All right. Hello. How's everybody doing today? My name is Brady. Thanks for joining up on our live tour stream. Right away, I'm going to let you know I'm going to be wearing a mask. I just have it off right now. I'm in kind of a secluded part of our Nova Chemicals Health and Research Center, and I'm going to mask up as we start the tour. But just to say hello, introduce myself, I wanted to take that off so you can hear me clearly and see my face before we start getting into some of the tour, more intricate part of the tours. Anyways, thank you so much for joining with us. We're going to walk about our entire campus today. We won't be seeing some of our extra buildings because we just don't have the means to get you there and back. But definitely today you're going to be able to see our whole main campus, all the lab spaces that we have, our brand new Nova Chemicals Health and Research Center, our fitness center, all that kind of fun stuff. And I really hope you enjoy it. I also highly encourage you to ask questions. My favorite part about doing these tours is when I get to talk to students, when I get to hear about what programs you're in, when I get to hear about what you want to see, or maybe if I'm looking at something and you're like, hey, that's really cool. Can we go look closer at that? Let me know and we'll do it. And you can do that through a few different means. One, if you're viewing this on lambtoncollege.ca, in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you should see a live chat box. Might be a little tiny circle, might be a bigger box. Grab that, open it up. You can open it in a separate window if you like, and that goes straight to another enrollment advisor who does the same role that I do. He's waiting on the other end to ask all your questions. He can relay them over to me. His name's Logan Savage. He's here with us today, and he's more than happy to help you through that Zendesk chat app. And that's in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you're viewing this on YouTube, just use YouTube live chat. We're also on there. Logan's also monitoring that, so feel free to use whatever chat means that you like. I'm going to be mentioning a few times throughout the tour today, too, that we have some really cool ways that you can get connected with us after today. Some really neat ways for you to save $95 on your application fee if you have not applied already. That's right, you can apply for free. We're going to talk about that as we walk about the school today. So stay tuned. We'll get you more details about that kind of stuff, and we'll also be able to perhaps get a form in front of you through one of the chat services if you open it up, and that way you can stay connected with us even further. We can email you about exciting new events and that kind of stuff. So right now, we are in the Nova Chemicals Health and Research Center. It's the newest wing on our school. It's home to a lot of our health space labs, a lot of simulation labs, a few different classrooms. Right beside us is our new athletics and fitness center. And we're gonna see all that and then mosey on about throughout the school here afterwards. So I'm gonna mask up. Once again, my name is Brady. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Hopefully you see something you're interested in. And if you don't, let me know and we'll try and get that information to you too. But we are gonna start off now. So once again, highly encourage you to use that chat service, say hello, let us know what programs you're into, let us know what you want to see, let us know if you want us to go into something in more depth. We have over 90 programs, so I definitely can't talk about them all for an hour. I could, but maybe we have 3 or 4 people that are really interested in nursing, or 3 or 4 people really interested in like computer programmer or something like that. We can talk about that if you let us know. So definitely use that chat service, let Logan know what you're into, and he'll relay that information over to me or answer your question right there and then. So right now we are at our clinic. It's called the clinic, and it's home to our massage therapy lab. I'm just walking around the corner to see if there's any students in there, which there are not. So let's go check it out. Cool. And you're gonna have to bear with me because sometimes these key cards are a little fussy. There we go. Perfect, we're in. All right. So this is where our massage therapy students take part in a lot of their practical assessment, a lot of their clinics where they actually do live massages on people from the public and students and staff and all sorts of different demographics of people. That's right, they get real practice on real people, especially towards the end of your term. Usually, I think it's around 330 hours is what we have to meet. Students oftentimes get more than that. And that's so that you're well prepared to go off and write your RMT exam, your registered massage therapist exam. But in this room here, you can see a front desk, little pseudo waiting room, feels just like a real clinic. And then we go back to the massage area, which is here. Lots of semi-private rooms, so we can have lots of people in here getting massages, lots of students administering massages, practicing on each other as they learn their practical skills and all that kind of stuff. Lots of open space, tons of beds. It's a very popular spot for the public, and it's even more popular for students because as a student in any one of our programs, you can get an hour-long massage for 10 bucks. What's more wicked than that? I don't know if you've got an hour-long massage anywhere else, but it's definitely more than $10, and our students are very good at what they do. All right, so now we're going over to the occupational therapist assistant, physiotherapist assistant lab. Cool. Once again, no students. And it'll just take a second for the lights to turn on. Good stuff. Cool. So we're in the back of the lab here. There's a few different machines. You can't see all of them. They're not all out on display, but this is where occupational therapist assistant, physiotherapist assistant students practice there. Once again, practical assessments. This lab space came to be from a very unique kind of way. It's not the best way to say that. This lab space kind of was put together in a really unique way. We teamed up with occupational therapists and physiotherapists in our local hospital network, Blue Water Health, and they came in and designed their dream workspace, their dream lab space. They told us what they wanted, they told us what they wished they had, and then we built it. So this is designed just like a real clinic. You would find an occupational therapy clinic, physiotherapy clinic, even right down to these racking systems. I mean, talking about storage racks isn't the most exciting thing, but these are the exact same ones that they have at Blue Water Health here, a large hospital network. And that way, so you as a student get practice on the actual equipment you're going to be using in the field, which is really, really cool to take advantage of. These beds are pretty neat. They're a little bit more articulate than the massage beds. So they move in different ways for OT and OTA, PTA work. You definitely need to move your client potentially in different ways. And then this is a slate bed right here, a little bit wider, but that holds up to like 700 pounds, 800 pounds, something like that. But that way, OTAs and PTAs can actually get on the bed with the patient and administer care in really unique ways. And that's some really nice equipment that you're going to be able to use and practice what it's like in real life. All right, so now we're heading back out to the main hall. That was massage therapy, occupational therapy assistant, physiotherapy assistant. That's in our first floor. I'm at the first floor of the Nova Chemicals Health and Research Center. And we're going to keep moseying about here. If there's any questions, like I said, just let me know throughout the tour. I'm more than happy to answer them, more than happy to show you, something that you might want to look at that maybe we just brushed over, something like that. All right, Steve, are there meal plans for residents? Great question, Steve. There are, definitely. So when you are a student in residence and staying in residence, the fees that you pay, a large part of that is your meal plan. It's included with every single residence stay. The base plan is $2,400. This is also the part where everybody laughs at me because I'm going to be winded as I'm trying to talk as I go up the stairs. So $2,400 base meal plan. That's included with every single residence meal plan. You can go up and down by, I think, a few $100s in each way, but absolutely meal plans. Every student gets it. It's necessary. Starting plan. It's about $2,400 for an 8-month program. All right, so we are at the pharmacy technician lab. We're gonna go see this. And hopefully, I saw the lights on in the other room, so I hope nobody else is in here. We are good, all right. So this is our pharmacy technician lab. This is one of their biggest simulation lab spaces on campus in our new Nova Chemicals Health and Research Center. And this side is the retail pharmacy. What does that look like? Looks just like something you'd see at Rexall, Shoppers, Walmart. This is the retail side of things, a really important part of pharmacy work, pharmacy technician work, that is. That's what we're used to seeing, but there is a whole other facet to pharmacy technician work that we're going to go see in a second. But this is our retail space where you get to learn to operate and manage inside of a retail setting. Lots of workstations for charting and playing and ordering and all that kind of fun stuff. All right, going through here. Waiting for the lights to turn on. There we go. This is our hospital pharmacy. So lots more computer spaces for planning and charting and ordering and putting in patient requests and doctor requests and that kind of stuff. This is our medicine area. We use real medicines inside this program too. So you're not just necessarily practicing on placebos. You get to see how medicines interact with each other. And this is the hospital side. Like I said, this machine over here is really neat. Long gone are the days of blister packing necessarily, although this machine can help with that too, but this is what hospitals use to spit out a patient or an entire floor's medicine care for the day, and then it's administered to our medicine carts, and our pharmacy technician students bring it to nurses. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how our different health programs work together in a second. It's really, really cool. It's really unique. It's something that only Lambton College does, so I'm really excited to tell you about that. But before that, I want to show you pharmacy in total. This is the ante room, so this is the clean room. Normally, especially if this was a lab, I would have to have gown and gloves up to my elbows and a cap and a face mask and eye protection, total sanitation protection inside this room. This is the ante room where you get clean, where you make sure that you are sanitary. Then you come back to the clean room where we do IV preparation. So included inside the pharmacy technician program is IV prep. This is a full simulation hospital pharmacy, and that's a really important part of medicine care when you are talking about pharmacy work. So I'm just gonna run back here for a second, walking through the hospital pharmacy. taking a left, and then a left, and we're in our compounding room. So this is where our students make different types of medicines or compound current medicines to be relevant for a patient to use. So let's say you had a patient who was young and they can't take a pill. Maybe the pill that they need is really large and they just can't swallow it, or they have a throat condition where that can't happen. You're going to learn to turn that pill into a lozenge or into a liquid, and that way that patient can actually get that medicine into their system. Really cool. Compounding is a huge part of this program, really unique, something that that only we offer compared to most schools. And the fact that you're able to practice that on real medicines in a real simulation space is really, really fun for us to talk about. All right, so I'm going to exit the pharmacy technician lab. And so normally we'd go see the hospital at this point, but there's a class in there right now, so you can't hop in there. However, you are going to see as I walk down this hallway that it's a huge space, 42 beds, 2 ICU units. It's a full simulation hospital. I mean, 42 beds is no small number. If you compare us to schools in our area, most schools have like 6, 7 beds. We have 42. It's a fully operational hospital. There's even a clean room and a dirty linen, like a clean linen room and a dirty linen room, because that's a big important part when we're talking about sanitary spaces. Got to make sure that even the bed stuff is sanitary. And we have facilities to accommodate all of that. But we're going to walk all the way down here. So this entire wall, I mean, it's a white wall. I'm not showing you anything you haven't seen before, but inside that is this 42 bed simulation hospital. We may be able to peek inside a little bit. You know what? I don't think there's any patients on this side. I'm going to be really quiet, and we're just going to like hop in there for a second and see like one part of it. All right. Cool. These are the ICU units. Really neat. They're full of robots that have, they're like $80,000 to $120,000 a piece. Another ICU unit. Really cool. I'll talk more about these when we get in the hall. I don't want to disturb the class that's right down the way. And then you can see that there are 3 tiers of semi-private rooms too. So we'll talk about that as I get out of the room here. But I wanted to show you that because it's really cool. Okay, cool. So I was talking really quiet because I didn't want to disturb the class that's learning in there. I think it's a practical nursing group or a bachelor of science nursing group. But anyways, they're doing their lesson. They're doing practical assessments like a lot of our hands-on classes are taking right now. And I didn't want to disturb them. So that's why I was talking quietly. But you got to see 2 ICU units. Those are fully quarantined units like you'd find in a NICU department in a hospital. Each one of those beds had about $120,000 to $80,000 to $120,000 robot inside of it. They do everything but get up and walk around. They're really cool to see in action, downright creepy in some ways, but in kind of a cool way. You can inject them, you can pull their blood, you can give them medicine, they give you feedback. Really cool to see in action. And our students get to learn what it's like to make a mistake on a patient. You know, what happens if you give the wrong medicine? What happens if you blow a vein? What happens if you aren't able to tell the heart rate correctly? Or if your patient goes into cardiac arrest as you're sitting there giving bedside care? What are you going to do? If you make mistakes, that's okay because they just reboot after. They don't sue you like in real life. So that's a pretty big advantage. So these pods are pretty cool. Moving on here. These are study pods. They're there for you as a student. It's like your own personal office space. There aren't a ton of them, but there are some there. If it's open, if it's empty, hop in there, do your homework, meet up with a group, do that kind of stuff. And that way you have your own private place to load up something on the TV or sit together and do group work or just study or listen to music, whatever it might be, but they are there for you to use. This is our audiology lab. This is where our program that's starting up in September, Communicative Disorders Assistance Program, is going to be able to practice some of their practical experience where they are measuring and monitoring and perhaps administering care for people's auditory needs. Those green tanks that you saw, I'll go back and look at them. Those green tanks that you saw are really cool. They hold people. A person gets in there and it's really, really quiet, like super quiet, like weirdly quiet that you haven't actually probably heard before when it's that quiet. And that way we can properly test and monitor people's hearing and pathology, their speaking patterns, and that way we can administer care as needed. So we're gonna go check out the apartments. Oh, we got a question. Can we see the esports arena? We can. Yeah, we're gonna go check it out in a bit. What a cool, what a great question, because I'm really excited to show you that. We are definitely going to see the esports arena. We have 2 of them. I have access to 1. Hopefully we can get in there too. They have a different key than I normally have, but normally it's open this time of day. But anyways, yes, definitely. We're going to see the esports arena. So I'm just looking for students. I think we're in the clear. Awesome. So we are in one of our 2 simulation apartments. They're apartments. They're what you would expect. They have kitchens, or like a little dining room. They have bathrooms. That's right, you're seeing a bathroom on a tour. Weird, but cool, because we're going to talk about why. We have a bedroom. And you're also going to notice that the bedrooms spaces are outfitted. Let's see if I can get it on camera. There it is over there. Are outfitted with some pretty unique machinery, like lift assist devices. This learning space, these simulation apartments, are used for personal support worker, they're used for paramedic, and they get real living spaces to practice in-home care as a personal support worker, or as a paramedic student, which we have an amazing paramedic program, to go on rescue missions. What if you get a call for somebody that's collapsed in the kitchen? They don't know if maybe the person's hit their head, they had a heart attack, we don't know what's going on, but they have to get out of that confined space in a safe manner. They have to get treated properly, and then they have to get on their way. And you as a paramedic person or as a paramedicine practitioner have to be able to get them out of that situation and get them safe and saved. Bedrooms, so we have 2 of them, lift assist devices, like I said, lots of that kind of stuff. You're also gonna notice, see if I can get it on camera, cameras and microphones throughout this room. There's a microphone there, a drop mic, like a stage. That way, when you're doing your assessments, your teacher can be in this room, which has one-way mirrors on it. We can see out, but you can't see in, and you can just do your thing. You're practicing, you're alone, you're like in a real life setting, except your teacher is able to communicate with you and see you and talk to you and hear from you through the camera microphone system. And that's really neat because you don't feel the pressure of somebody right over your shoulder being like, hey, are you doing this correctly? Not saying anything. I don't know if you guys or anybody who's viewing has done a drive test to get like your G license or your G2 or any licensing like that. Having that tester beside you in the car is a lot of pressure. We don't want that for our students. We want them to feel comfortable, and that's what those rooms are for. Our nursing unit also has that between the intensive care units. One-way mirror, teacher can talk to you, see you through the cameras, all that kind of cool stuff. All right, we're gonna go see the paramedic lab. All right. So now we're in the paramedic lab. It's a big space. Lots of room here. That's because paramedic students need space to practice. They need to put their gear out. They need to plan their bags and make sure they have everything they need to save someone's life. That's what they have to do. You guys know paramedic is they have a lot of responsibility, to say the least, and you got to be well prepared to get into that field. We have an amazing paramedic program. I don't know why I'm showing you this dummy. It's kind of weird, that close to something. Someone's rubber face, that's all marked up. Anyways, paramedics have to be well prepared. We have an amazing program. We're one of 3 schools in the province that offer CMA certification as part of our program. That allows you as a paramedic student to graduate with certification to work anywhere across Canada. That's a big advantage. Most schools only certify you to work in Ontario. We're Canada-wide. CMA has certified our program. We work with them to give our students that certification. It also helps you stand out in the labor market when applying for jobs in Ontario. To be able to say that you have CMA certification, you attended a program that was CMA certified. It's a competitive field when you're looking at becoming a paramedic, but our students have a major advantage because of that, as well as all the other certifications that they gain inside the program. Like they gain some hospital floor care certifications. I'd have to get more details about that. But I know that there's further ones that we offer that not a lot of schools don't, or not a lot of schools do, I should say. So that's between those 2 reasons, our students are at a pretty big advantage. We also have an ambulance, you can see in there. However, there's no front of it. It's on the 2nd floor of our building, missing the cab where you drive it, but I'll show you a little bit about that in a second. And that way you can practice ambulatory care, of course. We have an ambulance here. The lights work. It's pretty cool to see in action. All right, so I'm just gonna hop down the way here because I know I mentioned that ambulance does not have the front of it, but a little bit down the way, it kind of does. I'll show you why. Once again, for everybody who's joined up, hey, thanks for coming. We're doing a tour of our main campus today. My name's Brady. I'm an enrollment advisor here. We are here to answer your questions too. There's been a few already. If you have any questions, you have any comments, you just want to let us know what program you're into or what you've applied to, great. Please do so. You can open up the chat in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen if you're on lambtoncollege.ca, or just use YouTube live chat. Logan Savage is with us too. He's an enrollment advisor. He can answer a lot of your questions or pass them my way. if I can answer them too. And he's on the other end of those chat services. So say hello to Logan. All right. So I know I mentioned we didn't have the front of the cab, but we kind of do. This just got I think it was like a $60,000 or $40,000 upgrade to it. It was already a very expensive piece of machinery, but this is where you learn to drive an ambulance. It has all the same equipment that you'd find in an ambulance in a digital format. And it also has a live display screen that is kind of like virtual reality, not quite because you're not wearing a headset, but with the screens that surround you, it feels like you're driving an ambulance in a real life setting. I've heard students describe it as like Grand Theft Auto in first person, but without the, kind of the bad stuff that happens in that game, but you're driving around. It's very realistic. It's very intuitive. And that way you get practice in a real ambulance. Well, a real ambulance setting. It's not an actual ambulance, but you do go on a placement as well, which is kind of cool. And that way you will get practice in a real ambulance. So I am going to pop back in here, talk about something real quick. All right, so we're back in the paramedic lab. And I'm just going to show a spot out in the hallway and then pop back into this room to explain it. Because there's some workers out there, I don't want to disturb them too much. But keep this area in mind. So see this hub right here, kind of this whole area beside me. This is a really cool spot of the college. And it's part of the reason why we built this addition to the school, or this wing for the school, is to give students a pretty big advantage. So I can see some workers who are coming out. I'm just going to pop back in here to explain it. All right, cool. So that hub, that is where all of the programs I just explained meet. And there's a specific reason for that. On one side, we have pharmacy. On the other, we have the entrance to our simulation hospital and the triage area. On this side, we have our pharmacy lab. A little bit down the hall, we have the apartments. And this is so we can run mass simulations between all of our health programs. It's a ton of fun, something that only we do because we have these amazing facilities to support it. But let's put a scenario out there. So a personal support worker is in the apartment. They're taking care of their patient. Maybe they go out for a break, or they go and check something in another part of the house, and they come back and they find their patient collapsed in the bedroom. They don't know if they hit their head. They don't know if they had a heart attack, but they know they need to go to the hospital. So they call 911. Our paramedic students drive there, quotation marks, in the ambulance. They go rescue the patient out of the apartment. They bring that patient into their care. They deliver that patient to the nurses across the hall from us right now. The patients bring that, or the nurses bring that patient into their care, and then they put the call out to our pharmacy technician students who prepare the medicine and IV medicines on their medicine carts to deliver to that patient that was just rescued by paramedic and are now being looked at by nursing students. As a nurse, you're going to have paramedics dropping patients at your feet. As a paramedic, you're going to have to get a call to go get patients from all sorts of different scenarios. As a personal support worker, you might experience something where you need to get immediate attention for the person you're taking care of. That's something that's really, really cool, really, really fun. And we can offer because we have this amazing facility. All right, so we are going to continue on our way. Kind of leaving the health building at this point. All right. You're also going to find, it's not much because it's dark, but there's meeting rooms all throughout this building. You can hop in there at any point that you like, similar to those study pods. And if you want to do some group work, if the room is empty, hop in there, do your thing. There's a TV to access, a sound bar. If somebody has a book, like faculty or staff, they'll just come in and let you know, like, hey, we have this book. Is it okay if you guys study somewhere else? But that's worst case scenario. If it's empty, use it to your advantage. This is your school. Use these facilities as much as you like. So it's dark. It wasn't, or lost me for a sec there. All right, am I back? Looks good. All right, cool. Should have mentioned too at the very beginning, I'm going to be dropping in and out of connection quite a bit. So if I go like a little, I lose frames or you lose me for a second, just stay there. I'm going to reconnect. So no worries. All right. Yeah, I understand there's a question coming. So what varsity sports does Lambton have? That's a great question, Aaron. Thanks for asking. We have varsity basketball, men's and women's, varsity baseball, men's, indoor soccer, outdoor soccer, varsity men's and women's as well. So soccer, indoor and outdoor, men's baseball, basketball, men's and women's. Those are varsity sports. There's also 50 intramural teams and all sorts of different sports. So intramural is the fun stuff. I know you mentioned varsity, so you're probably looking for that higher level of competition, that intercollegiate level of competition. For that, basketball, men's, women's, soccer, men's, women's, excuse me, indoor and outdoor, and then men's baseball. So here we have the gymnasium. You can't really see it. You can start to see part of it, but this is one of the largest gym spaces or fitness spaces in the province. We seat about 1,200 people. There's a 208-inch LED Jumbotron. Hey, the lights just turned on. All right, good timing. Cool. So this is where a basketball team plays. This is where a lot of our intramural sports take place. It's also open for just recreation hours. If you want to hop in there between classes, throw the ball around, that kind of thing, you're more than welcome to do so. And if you're playing for any varsity teams, you're definitely going to spend some time in there. Indoor soccer for sure. And the lab space or the fitness space is huge. It's an Olympic-sized basketball court, so technically we could potentially host an Olympic game. Not that Sarnia ever would, but it's that big and that neat to be in that kind of setting when you're just playing ball or you know, shooting the ball around with friends or something. So we're gonna go see the fitness center now. Should be empty. All right, so this is our fitness center. Right behind me is the weight room. Over here is our circuit training room. This is a lot of the equipment where we do weight training. There's some weight equipment here. There's some cardio equipment, but it's kind of set up into these different sections where we have weights on one side, circuit training, some machinery on the other, weight machines on this side, cardio down the way, and a little bit more cardio overlooking the gym, which is pretty cool to do actually, because you can hop on one of these ellipticals or a spin bike, recumbent spin bike, and overlook the gym. Hey, waving James there, James Grant. He coordinates our athletics department and student administrative council. He's in the gym and turned the lights on for us because James is awesome. All right. These treadmills are really nice too. All the equipment is top of the line. Each one of these treadmills is like $14,000. They're banded. So you can see there, they got thick rubber bands. Really, really comfortable to run on. Really, really comfortable to use for extended periods, especially compared to a typical treadmill. And right inside here, we have our personal training studio. So this is where you can do a few different things. One, just use it. You want to hang out in here, lift rooms, maybe in a more private setting, or lift weights in a more private setting, you can do that. You know, you got weights over here. You can bring stuff in from the other room potentially. I think you can double check about that before you do. But all the equipment in here is for you to use when you like. There's spin bikes. This is a TRX band wall. And then normally, when pandemic protocols aren't in place, this computer is powered up inside the wall here, this guy. And you can choose a workout. You want to do a spin class, you want to do TRX bands, you want to do a yoga class, whatever you want to do, select it from the computer, pops up on the TV. There's a huge sound system, and you can, just like you hired a personal trainer for the next hour, you can complete your workout with the virtual trainer that's up on the TV. We also do live classes out of here, but there's always that virtual trainer there for you to use and hire whenever you like. All right, so that's a fitness center. We are going to head out back to the main hallway here. And students get access to this as part of your fees. If you're a full-time student here, you have access to all of the facilities that we're looking at right now. If you have a gym subscription to like Good Life or Planet Fitness or wherever it might be, drop that when you're a student here because you get access to this amazing facility. It's one of the nicest fitness centers in Sarnia, and it's part of your student fees. All right, we are on our way. So we got a bit of a walk here. I'm probably going to jump in and out of connection a little bit. So if you see that you're losing me or something like that, just stay tuned. I'm going to rejoin. As we walk throughout the building, we change connection points, access points, and that's going to happen as I walk down this hall. Can't really see it. Once again, it's dark, but there's a whole other gymnasium right behind me. I'm up on the second floor. It's, of course, on the first. It's right behind me in that window. Big giant gym. We use that for program-specific training now. So if you're in police foundations, protection, security investigation, border security, pre-service firefighter, fire sciences, technology, you're going to have some fitness courses. You have a whole gymnasium to do that in. That way you're not fighting for space or time with other students who are just looking to work out. And we also have this fitness center, which is used for the same thing. So once again, if you're in a program that requires fitness training or fitness aspects at all, you're going to have your own space to complete those courses in, which is really, really nice. Ryan, can you tell us about protection, security, investigation? Cool, I just mentioned that. Yes. So we have a 2-year program to start with. It is really unique because it shares the first year with our kind of authoritative program family, if you will. So when we look at police foundations, border security, protection, security, investigation, they all share the first year. So keep that in mind as I talk. But that's a really unique aspect about our program. That program in particular, the 2-year diploma, is going to set you up for the skills you need to get into correctional work. Maybe you want to work in a jail as a correctional officer, or maybe you want to get into private security or private investigation. That's the main focus areas that you're going to learn in protection, security, investigation. It's kind of in the name: private security, private investigation, correctional work. But that's the main goal. So when we get students who are like, I want to become a correctional officer, that's the program I point to. The nice thing is that it shares that first year with Police Foundations and Border Security. So if you decide, partway through, you're like, I started off wanting to be a correctional officer, I actually want to become a border agent, you can just switch after that first year, or you can come back and start doubling them up. You can just add an extra year and get your diploma in protection, security, investigation, and Police Foundations, because you've already completed that first year, which is really, really neat. So this is the Enactus room, our trophy area where we have our Enactus trophies. And then right down the hall is the office. Hey, Ray, how are you? Good. Cool. So this is the front door. I mean, we're just looking at a door right now. Nothing too exciting, but I get the question all the time, how do I get involved in Enactus? It's right here. You just pop your head in that door. You say, hey, I'm a student in this program. I want to get involved in Enactus. They will help you do that. And the reason why you might want to get involved is because we are accomplished. We are Enactus world champions. We're Enactus national champions. For the last 5 years, we've achieved some major titles when it comes to the Enactus competition. And what is that, you're probably asking? Well, it stands for Entrepreneurs in Action for Us All. It's students who have socially minded ideas and just want to better the world in some way or another. And they do that. They come up with plans, and they might start a socially minded business, or they might come up with ways that we can improve people's livelihood in an area where it might be of a lower standard than what we're used to. Then we put it in action and we make it happen, and we help better people's lives. That's kind of the gist of it. They get into a lot more than that, of course. It's a 40,000 foot perspective. Some examples that we've done is in Zambia. Zambia is a very impoverished country in Africa. Through our One Seed project that we did there, we essentially trained farmers and gave them the tools to build the infrastructure to farm better in a village that was not farming very well. By doing so, about 28,000 people were able to make more money than they ever had before in their lives, and people who were living on less than $1 a day, through farming skills and learning the infrastructure and the proper means of no-till farming, which is what we're used to here, were able to develop a middle income and make enough money that they were way above that $1 a day income. That was a really cool aspect of it. It kept going too. There's a lot more to that story than that, but it was a really neat story to hear about how the farming efforts that we did there really changed people's lives, and it was our students that did that. That's part of the reason why we won our world championship. The other reason is because our business students, and through Enactus and business administration, our 3-year program, recognized that there was a demand for peanut butter in Zambia, but a lack of suppliers. So our business students in business administration, in their final year of their capstone project, which is a project that you do for the entire last year of your program, from semester, what would that be, 5 to semester 6, one whole year, one project, a group of students worked on a peanut butter factory. So I'm just gonna wait until I join back up. You might be able to hear me, but not see me. Okay, cool. Thank you, Eric. All right, so I think I'm coming back now, a little bit choppy, but I should be back. So peanut butter factory, business administration students worked with Enactus to build a peanut butter factory in that Zambian village. They got a lot of the farmers to switch from soy and corn to peanuts. They made sure that it was safe. They built a facility, they employed people, and now they're producing and selling the #1 selling peanut butter in Zambia. So that's what Enactus does, that kind of stuff in all sorts of different ways. Reasons why you might want to get involved is because it's a ton of fun. It's a great way to meet people. It's a great way to put something extra on your resume. It's a great way to potentially find jobs. One of the people who was on the Enactus team now lives in Toronto for a company that she met through the Enactus program here at Lambton. She was part of the World Championship team. All right. So, probably jumping in and out. Johnny V, where's the nearest pizza place? Wicked. Downstairs. We're like right above it. If you could see where I'm standing, which you kind of can. It's like right below my feet. So we're going to see that in a second. Great question, because that would be my #1 concern, is where's the nearest pizza place. You got to know the good stuff. All right. So we're in the upstairs part of our cafeteria. We have Tim Hortons behind me. It's closed right now. Of course, with the pandemic, we have limited amounts of students on campus, but when the campus is in full swing, fingers crossed it'll be for September. We don't know at this point, but we're going to pretend and speak like things are going to be back to something resembling normal come September, in which case Tim Hortons will be open. There's a little food store beside it that usually sells like salads or like stir fry, stuff like that. So it changes each semester, but normally that's kind of along the theme that they run with. And yeah, upstairs, mostly seating. I'm gonna try and get into the Student Administrative Council, which is right behind me. They have their own set of keys. So normally, I'm going through this way. I don't know who's here, so I'm just gonna kind of sneak around. All right. Cool. All right, that worked. So we're in the Student Administrative Council. There was a question earlier about, can we see the gaming arena? Yes, you can. And there it is. 22 super high-end computers. We use that for all sorts of different things. We have varsity esports. So if you want to try out for one of our varsity teams, just like basketball, baseball, you got to try out for esports teams. You got to maintain your grades. You got to go to class. You got to put in hours at our arena, and you also have to practice and play well with your teammates. But we compete against colleges all across North America, universities all across North America. Our students have traveled as far as Texas for tournaments that they've competed in, Montreal for tournaments that they've competed in there. When it comes to varsity esports, we are the force to be reckoned with. And this is the arena where all that magic happens. The computers are super high end. They can play virtually any game that's out right now at max settings, 1 gigabit internet running to each and every one of them. Lag is never an issue, and our students are put at a major advantage there. Same goes if you just want to rip some games in between classes, you can do that too. You got 2 hours between class, come in here, play some games for an hour, play some games for 2 hours, go back to class after, hopefully you do. But you can do that. It's open for our students, not just our varsity players. If you want to rip some games, like I said, maybe you're staying in residence and you want to play some games with a friend, you know, hop in here after class one day, and it's open pretty late into the evening. So we are going to go down toward school pub. All right. Hunter, how far is the commute from residence? Great question, Hunter. Residence is about a 3-minute walk. It's across 2 parking lots. So the direction that I'm facing now, which doesn't tell you anything, of course, but if you were to walk straight in a line from where I am right now, you would hit residence in about 5 minutes. If once you leave the doors in the main building here, it's like 3 minutes to the back door of residence. Very, very quick. It's 2 parking lots over. So right now we're in our Lions Den. This is our school pub. It's open for all ages. They serve amazing food. They do have events on the last Thursday of every month, like DJ night, bands, hypnotists, comedians, that kind of stuff. They come in. It's a great time. The events on the last Thursday of every month are always packed. It's a great place to be. They serve amazing food, like I mentioned. They do serve alcohol. You have to be of drinking age, of course, to serve alcohol. But if you want to grab a drink after class and you're of drinking age, you're more than welcome to do so. And if not, maybe friends in your program you want to come hang out with them, you can do that too. You know, grab a soda or something like that, or some delicious fries or whatever it might be. It's important to note this is the one place that your meal card won't work, but the food is amazing. Drinks are amazing. The times are fun. Lots of games to be played. And you can access this whenever you like. All right, so we're moving on here. There's like pool and some arcade games, that kind of stuff. It's a pretty fun place to hang out. All right, so now we're in the lower caf. It's currently closed with the current lockdown that's happening. But right inside this room, the Marketplace Cafe, that we're going to go see in a second. There it is home to where most of your meals are going to come from, especially if you're staying in residence. This is where 95% of your meals are going to be bought, maybe brought back to your res room or eaten here, snacks grabbed for later in the night. Little room, tons of food. By visiting other colleges in the province, I have learned that we have an amazing selection of food here. Something I really appreciate, as you can clearly tell, but delicious food. They have a salad bar, a soup bar, a sandwich bar. They have a burger place. There's daily specials on the left-hand side of me here that are normally posted on a board that you would see right there. Your meal plan works everywhere here. There's a pizza. There's a self-serve Tim Hortons. Lots of options. Food is delicious. Great place to grab your food and head back to your res room. Or maybe you just want to grab some lunch in between classes. That's cool too. Okay. All right, so now we're in the All right, cool, there we are. Good stuff. So we're in the basement, dropped access points or hopped access points, so I lost you for a second, but we're back. This is where a lot of our technology programs are, the bookstore that we're gonna see. It's also important to note these lockers here. There's lockers all over the campus. Remember that student administrative council room where the esports arena was and the office that I entered through first? You didn't see much of it, but you might have taken note. Pop in there. You can rent a locker, $40 for the year. If you got all your classes in the basement, maybe you're in a technology or trade program, maybe you want your locker down here. If you're upstairs, mostly, maybe you want your locker up there. Just let them know whereabouts you'd like it, and they'll try and set you up as best as they can. But $40 for the year will get you hooked up. And right here is our campus shop. We won't be hopping in there today, but this is a really popular point in the tour where normally when I bring people on campus, they want to go and grab a t-shirt or something like that. So you can tell they have all that kind of stuff. T-shirts, hats, hoodies, sweaters, sweatpants, backpacks, stationery. Typical stuff that you would expect at a campus shop is definitely in there. It's also your bookstore. So when you go to buy your books at the start of the semester, this is the place where you're either going to pick them up or you're going to hop in there to buy them. You can order them beforehand online. You can also do that with all the wear that they have. Their campus store is open right now. If you go to, I believe you can get to it from lambtoncollege.ca, but I usually Google it, Lambton College Campus Shop, and it'll bring you to a link. It's like the first one if you Google it. Click that, and you can shop online right now, and they can ship it to you. You can come in and pick it up potentially. But if you want to grab some gear, maybe you're starting a program in September, you want a sweater, you can do that right now. You can order it online. They're going to send it off to you. Same goes for books when the semester starts and that kind of stuff. All right. They also have candy, some really good candy too, like stuff you'd only find in maybe like an international candy store, like chocolates from like England and that kind of stuff that you wouldn't normally find here. So that's pretty cool. If you want some candy, they got some good stuff too. And I know where the candy's at. All right. So we're in our tech wing where a lot of our technology programs take place. That's kind of on the bookends of each school. So we're going to see some of them as we walk down here. Then we're going to head down all the way to the other end and see more of our Center of Excellence in Energy and Bioindustrial Technology. We're getting a lot of new lab spaces too. They're currently finishing up setting them up, but you can see the start of it there. Lots of new lab spaces down here, lots of hands-on learning. Of course, that's what these programs are all about. Cool. We're gonna go through your maintenance lab. Hey, is it cool if I just walk around with the camera? All right, sounds good. So oh, right in here? Awesome. Oh, cool. This is where pneumatics is going to be now?
This is physics.
Yeah.
Physics, QEMS, and then pneumatics next over.
Wicked. Normally we don't get to see pneumatics, so this is good.
Yeah, it's done. It's just we're getting new trainers.
Whoa, this is way bigger than it ever was. Cool.
Yeah. Remember we had the storage room.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Andre. Cool. So we are in the pneumatics portion of our millwright lab space or maintenance lab. That's a really neat part of our program that you're not going to find at many other colleges or any that I'm aware of, but might be out there, but I know not a lot of them do. Is as part of their millwright program, including pneumatics and hydraulics. When I speak with the coordinators, they tell me all the time, if you can set yourself up with a niche set of skills, especially in the world of millwright like pneumatics and hydraulics, you are bound to find a position for years to come. You are bound to get paid well because there's not a lot of people who know this kind of stuff, and our millwright students get to learn it firsthand inside this brand new pneumatics and hydraulics lab. They're finished setting it up right now. We're getting all ready for the semester that's starting, and then of course September 2021. Lots of new lab spaces here. This is one of them, of course, the pneumatics and hydraulics lab. Now we're going to go back to the maintenance shop. There's stuff all over the place right now, but you're going to see some of the equipment you're going to learn inside the millwright program, like these turbines and pumps. Massive units there. Get to learn the intricacies of rebuilding them, ensuring that they're safe, ensuring that they're set up properly, all that kind of good stuff. I think there's like a turbojet engine that we have. Lots of pumps, lots of turbines, that kind of stuff. Of course, millwright, if you don't know, they are jack of all trades. They are responsible for anything that moves, articulates, as far as ensuring that it's operating safely, ensuring that it's installed properly, all that kind of good stuff. And we have all sorts of different representations of equipment to learn that on. We also have CNC machines right back over there, where you're going to learn to maintain, install, and work with CNC machines, of course. Yeah, we're going to move on. Thanks, Andre. Cool. All right, so that's the maintenance side of the millwright program. We also have some other lab spaces. This is the CNC shop. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. We're just doing a live tour. Is it cool if I just walk around a little bit?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks. All right, so this is our machine shop where we have lots of different CNC machines, lots of different lathes, state of the art, of course. Our students get to learn on some of the most popular industry equipment, as well as some really, really nice equipment that you're going to get to practice and hone your skills on. Honestly, I wish I knew more about this kind of stuff. But I know our students are put at a major advantage because of lab spaces like we're in right now. And one of the neat things inside the millwright programs is that you're going to build your own toolkit and then get to take that home with you when you finish the program. You're going to build things like a slide hammer and measuring devices. You're going to build that out of raw block material on these different lathes and CNC machines. You're going to put that in your toolbox. And you're going to carry it with you when you get hired on to your first apprenticeship. So that's pretty neat. Thank you. All right, so that's machine shop. Down the way, we have our weld shop, and I might not be able to get in there because normally I can't. I'm gonna guess that it's closed. Oh, no. There's a class in there, so I'm not gonna go in there right now. But we have a welding shop for a welding techniques program. It's an awesome one-year pre-apprenticeship program that's gonna set you up with the skills to get hired as an apprentice welder in all sorts of different facets. It's also gonna give you the opportunity to test for your CWB tickets, your all plate position tickets, and that's kind of like the standard to get you in and started in an apprenticeship position. Students who finish our pre-apprenticeship programs like welding techniques, construction carpentry techniques, millwright mechanical technician, all these things are put at a major advantage. All right, I think I lost you. Just gonna wait a second here. Cool. All right. So once again, if anybody's joined up, how many people do we have with us? Cool, awesome. So we still got lots of people here. If you've joined up since we started, my name is Brady. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're walking about our campus. We're seeing all the neat stuff that we have to offer, especially in regard to September 2021. We just finished our tech wing, and ask away, ask questions. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what programs you're into. We are more than happy to help you. All right, where do we go to apply? That is a question that I love to answer. So applications are open now, September 2021. Of course, our next application year, those applications you can start right now on ontariocolleges.ca. Real easy website. You can Google it, of course, but can't remember. I mean, it's a much easier website to remember. ontariocolleges.ca is where you're going to start and finish your application. We are going to help you throughout the entire process. You just let us know. We are going to help you fill out that application. We're also going to pay for your fee. $95 to apply, but if you apply to Lambton and you're considering attending here, we will cover that $95 fee for you. That's really important right now because maybe you're watching this or viewing this date. You know what? I'm going to finish this because I'm walking quick. I'm running. Probably going to be winded again. I'm winded this whole time. All right. Cool. I should be back now. Good stuff. Okay. So ontariocolleges.ca is where you are going to go to apply. We're going to help you apply. You can do that through live chat. You can set up an appointment over the phone through a program advising appointment. You can email info@lambtoncollege.ca. We're going to help you with all that kind of good stuff. And then we're also going to cover the $95 fee. It is $95 to apply to college. But if you're applying to Lambton, we will cover that for you. $100 is no small amount. We are going to help you pay for your application by covering that $95 fee. You might have to pay a small transcript request fee, like $5 to $15, but you're going to save that $95 fee at the very least. And that's, I think, a really, really good thing for a lot of people because maybe you're watching this right now and you don't know what's coming around the corner. It's hard to imagine what's going to happen in September when we don't know what next week looks like at this point. So if you can apply for free and allow us the opportunity to offer you a seat in one of our programs, and all that can happen at zero cost, why not take advantage of that? Why not open that door potentially to receive an offer? And then it's up to you if you confirm that offer. You know, let us at least get you to that point for free, as easy as we can. And that way you can keep your options open for September. I certainly hope that you do attend. I hope that you do apply, of course. I hope that we can help you with that. But the fact that we can at least get you an offer, and that way you have the choice. You have the choice to attend. You have the choice to see what's going to come over the next couple months. And you know what? No matter what happens in September, it's going to be a good time. Worst case scenario, we already have plans set up in place that, you know, if we're still in a pandemic type situation, which who knows at this point, we are going to be able to take care of you and offer the best education that we can possibly get you, given the circumstances. And when it comes to hands-on learning, that's still happening. That's where our advantage of being a small school really comes into play, because we're able to offer hands-on learning for the programs that need it still. We cohort down to 15 maximum class size. They come into our lab spaces. You know already, because we haven't been able to get into some of the lab spaces here, because those classes are practicing their hands-on skills. So we are still in the classroom in a limited amount, but albeit in smaller class sizes. That's a big difference. So help us, or let us help you apply. Let us cover your fee, and we will get you set up with a free application. We're going to talk more about that as we finish this tour up too, so stick around and we'll get you more details about how to do that. So I'm going to hop into the electronics lab. All right. Good stuff. Wait for the lights to turn on. So this is used in our instrumentation control engineering technology program, and this is where students learn to make electronics, where you learn to make controls. That's what that program's all about. I love talking about that program because there are a ton of opportunities for instrumentation students. This is one of the amazing lab spaces where they get to learn how to produce controls, how to produce circuitry that's going to help an operator operate on a machine, or operate a machine, that is. So this is the electronics lab. Circuitry is the idea, that kind of stuff. And we are going to hop over to our distillation tower now. And this room has one really cool feature about it. It's got a bunch of equipment. All right, there's one light. I'm going to turn the lights on here. And this is used in our chemical production power engineering program. Oh, that was off. Good stuff. All right. And this is home to not only the inner workings, the original plans that went into a lot of the plants around us. Fun fact, Sarnia-Lambton is home to 47% of Canada's petrochemical industry. When we're talking about Canada's output of fuels and solvents and chemical products, a huge chunk of it is coming from 10 minutes down the road in the direction that I'm facing right now. And this is where a lot of these plants come from. These are plants that are in operation. This is how they design them. You can see down here, that kind of stuff. But the reason why I wanted to bring you in here is this tower. I'm gonna try and point the camera up. All right. So this is a distillation tower. And if you're from Sarnia, you've seen some of the smokestacks around, you've seen some of the refineries that we have here. You've also probably noticed that these really tall cylinders that have a cap at the top, those are distillation towers, and that's where product is made or refined. We have that exact same setup here. It's fully operational. The only difference is ours is made out of acrylic. And that way you as a student can see the sieves in action. You can see the product being different from the product at the top. Maybe at the top, we're going to draw off methane. Maybe at the bottom, we're going to draw off butane. I don't know exactly how that works, but that's kind of the idea, is as your product moves through these different layers and goes through different processes and hits different pressures and temperatures, you get different results. And at the top might be one thing, maybe methane, and at the bottom might be something totally different, butane. And that's how we make our different products that we see around us here in our chemical valley, in our local industry. And those distillation towers are really, really important for the operation of a plant. And our CPET students, chemical production power engineering, get to see what that's like in real life, in real time through an acrylic distillation tower. It's really cool to see in action. Bubbles away, you can see it doing all sorts of cool stuff. And I'm just going to turn the lights off, then we're going to head towards our robotics lab. All right, good stuff. We are on our way. We are on our way. If there's any questions, let me know. That's what I'm here for. Once again, thank you everybody for joining up with us today. Hopefully you're having a good time as we walk about. We would love to do this in person. We can, so hopefully you're getting as much out of this as I am right now, which is going to see our awesome lab spaces where our students get to practice their skills that make them industry experts. All right. So this is our robotics lab. Sometimes it's loud in here. It's not too bad today. But these robots are pretty cool to see in action. Fun fact, these are the same manufacturer of robots that are used to put together KitchenAid mixers. It's actually the largest robotics manufacturer in the world. And our students in ISET and Millwright receive a special certification from the manufacturer of these robots that say that they're experts in their area. That's a huge advantage for our students when they're looking for positions in manufacturing, in distribution, and warehousing. Wherever these robots are put into play, our students are put at the forefront of that industry by being able to program them and maintain them and work on them and set them up to do tasks. You can see here, this one You can kind of see, where is it there? There we go. We got some dice. And we have the arm. You can see it's like grabbing one right now. I don't know if you can see that. Spending way too much time trying to point this out. You can kind of. Anyways, robot arm has a little tiny dice in its hand. And these robots are going to be set up to do all sorts of different things throughout the year. They might play guitar. They might make a mixed drink. They might sort a bunch of stuff really quickly. It might be programmed to say, okay, I need to turn every dice to side 6. And that robot's going to see it, is going to turn it, is going to do it. And our students have to tell that robot what to do. Millwright students, they get to program them. Well, they get to program them to a certain extent. They also get to maintain them, install them, that kind of stuff. Millwrights, once again, are the professionals for anything in the industry that moves or articulates. Robots are one of those things. So our millwright students are put at the forefront of the robotics industry. And same with our instrumentation students. They get to learn to program and maintain these units as well. It's really cool to see in action. And the fact that you get to learn that inside of our instrumentation program is a big advantage. All right, so we're moving on. Right now, we're walking past some research lab spaces. There's some research students there. And I'm gonna talk about that in a second. All right, so we're heading upstairs. Gonna go see more of the Center of Excellence in Energy and Bioindustrial Technology building. We're also gonna talk about research and what opportunity that is for you as a future student. But first, we're gonna finish up some of these lab spaces. All right, process flow and controls lab. I'm tripping over my words today a little bit. This is where, once again, chemical production power engineering students are gonna get to practice a lot of their skills in setting up the flow of product and fuel and whatever it is that they need to get from one side of the plant or get from, like I said, one side to the other side, or maybe they have to get product from the refinery to an airport, because that happens here. We have that. We produce about, I think it's 3/4 of the fuel that Toronto Pearson Airport uses. Anyways, and there's a pipeline that does that. So we have to learn how all that works together. This is part of the lab space where you're going to do that, the process flow and control lab, right over here. We're going to go see their environmental water wastewater systems operation lab. I don't know if we can get in there today. Nope. That's okay. There's a research group in there right now. We're going to talk about research. Yeah, that's part of our refined fuel group. See a bunch of refined fuel. Beer there, some researchers. I don't know exactly what they're working on, but I know that they do utilize our research facilities quite heavily. All right. So right now, we are in our boiler lab space, our boiler unit. These are really neat. So these produce power for part of our school. And this is utilized in 2 programs, well, 3. Millwright, once again, machinery masters. They're inside these spaces because they look after the maintenance of a lot of these pieces of machines. And then also power engineering technology students and chemical production power engineering technology students utilize the units to get their STEAM time. In power engineering technology, our students are working towards, at the end of their 3rd year, gaining their 2nd class power engineer certificate. That's the highest level of education you can get in power engineering from college. And then chemical production power engineering students are working towards their 4th class power engineer certificate by the end of their 3rd year. So this is where they get to practice that. This is where they get their STEAM time. These boilers, like I said, you probably can see through all the pipe work. They are piped into the school. They do produce power for the school, and we are able to offer our students in a TSSA, so the Safety Standards Authority, certified workspace, and offer our students their STEAM time reduction right here on campus. Really exciting. And then our millwright students get to work on these machines, maintain them, install pieces, make sure that everything's safe for everybody to use and get their STEAM time on. So to recap, power engineering technology, 2nd class power engineer is the outcome. Chemical production power engineering mixes chemical lab technician with power engineering. It's developed pretty specifically for our local industry, and we work in tandem with a lot of partners like NOAA Chemicals, Imperial Oil, Shell Canada, for students in the CPEP program. All right, so instrument and valve calibration lab, once again used by chemical production power engineering technology students. All right. So I'm going to talk about our process simulator lab, and then I'll talk about research. So right beside me is the process simulator lab. It kind of looks like a computer lab, but this is a really, really special computer lab. Each one of these computers have the same operating system that we use to run plants, multi-billion-dollar facilities that refine different chemicals and products and all sorts of different things. I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of square acres of space and machinery and people, thousands of employees that rely on these operating systems for their day-to-day tasks. And our students get to work on them just like it's in real life, except the only difference is the operating systems on each one of these computers isn't actually powering a plant, isn't actually running a plant. But our students can see what it's like as an operator to be in a worst case scenario position. Maybe a boiler unit blows up and you as a worker have to be able to shut things down, have to be able to maintain it, have to be able to make sure that workers can get in there safely by shutting off and turning on different tasks. And you can see what that happens in real time. You might be working away, doing your thing, everything's normal, and then the teacher presses a button and everybody's systems have to go into emergency mode. And you can see what it's like to be able to adapt to those situations in real time. So, looks like a computer lab. It's a lot more. It's kind of the theme of the day here. And then right beside me is our hazardous materials testing lab, I think it is. Yeah, advanced materials testing. That's it. So this is utilized in research. We are #1 in Canada. We just won that again for research, applied research. And that gives our students a pretty big advantage when it comes to adding extra material to their resume. Last year, we hired over 200 students to take part in research. These are graduates or current students in instrumentation, chemical production, chemical lab technology, chemical production, power engineering, other programs as well. They get hired on to come in and take part in different research projects that we complete on campus. We are the #1 school in Canada when it comes to research. Really, really proud about that. And I can tell you right away that every college is putting research at the forefront of their priority list. So to be able to say we're #1, especially when we compare ourselves to schools that have 30,000 plus students, that makes us really proud that we can output that amount of good through our research department and our students can take part in all of that throughout the entirety. Really, really neat. Students get paid quite often to do that. And the way it works is that governments or companies or people ask us to invent things. They might need a better product. They might need a better way to do things. They might need a more eco-friendly way to do things. And they hire a school to do that, and we see if we can, and we potentially invent things. Last year, a football helmet that we invented for young people playing high contact sports like football has weights and gyroscopes in it in really unique ways. A ton of research went into it. Won 2019 NFL's Best Product of the Year, Most Innovative Product, one of those two awards. It was a huge award given to us from the NFL for creating this helmet that our young football players and rugby players can wear. And that was all done through our research department. So #1 in Canada, really, really proud about that. And you as a future student can potentially get involved in research. So great opportunity for you. All right, so we're walking towards a lot of the student services that we have. And we're gonna see those as we walk down this hallway here. Really glad I didn't lose you at that point. All right. So we're walking by the cafeteria. You can see the lower cap that we were in. That's right here. Some display cases. We have a pottery general elective that's really popular. You saw some pottery pieces as we went by there. So if you want to take pottery as your general elective, you can certainly do that. It's really, really popular. And I highly recommend adding that to your course list as soon as you possibly can. So the first student center we're going to look at is the Accessibility Center. You can see the sign just above my head. You can see the door here. If you have any needs the school should know about, learning needs, physical needs, any assistance that you require as a student, this is what accessibility is there for. They are there to help you feel as comfortable and to help you be as successful as you can. When you're successful, it's a win-win. We look better, you look better, everybody does better when you have the tools you have to be successful. So take advantage of that, talk to accessibility. If you require, like I said, any learning assistance, any physical assistance, this is a great place to start. If you have an IEP from high school and you're curious how that's going to translate in the college system, these are the people that can help you with those types of things. You can drop in there. They're open 8:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. You can email accessibilitycenter@lambtoncollege.ca. You can also potentially call them. I'd have to get their extension number. I don't have that off the top of my head, but they're there to help you be successful. And right here's the registrar's office, front doors to it. It's closed right now, once again, pandemic, lockdown, all that kind of good stuff. Normally it's open. And then right across the way, you can see the queue list waiting iPad kiosks. So registrar's office, really important stop in the school. This is your administrative hub for everything related to being a student at Lambton. They do your admissions. They look at your transcript information. They help you with your graduation applications. They help you with course registration and financial aid. Our school is very different from any other school in the province, where we do not have a separation between our registrar's office and our financial aid office. And this is a big advantage for you because you have one person that looks after just you and your entire program when it comes to registering, financial aid, scholarships, bursaries, on-campus employment, graduation, course registration, all that kind of good stuff. One person is your go-to person for all of that. So let's say you applied to health, a practical nursing program. You're going to get an email from Hannah Mislin. It's going to say, hey, congratulations, you've been accepted to the practical nursing program. Hannah Mislin is also going to help you out with your timetable. She's also going to help you with your course registrations and your OSAP application and your scholarships and your bursaries and all that kind of good stuff. That way you know who to talk to. At most schools, if you have a question about financial aid, let's say, you would go to the financial aid office, you would take a ticket, like you're at Service Canada, you would wait for your number to be called. And if you did that 10 days in a row, you might talk to 10 different people. At our school, every time you have a question with regards to financial aid, course registration, all that stuff I've talked about, you're going to go back to Hannah, you're going to go back to Phil, you're going to go back to Darlene, and these people are there to help you. And that way you know who to talk to. It's a lot easier to ask for help when you know who you're talking to and you know that you're going to feel comfortable when you're asking those questions. At Lambton, we are all about community, we are all about care, we're all about making things as easy as we can for you, and having our enrollment service professionals, who are the experts in this area, really make a difference when it comes to getting help with money and school and course registration and all that kind of good stuff. All right, so we're going to hop down to our IT service desk. And this is a great place to keep in your back pocket because when you become a student, the doors are closed. There's a front desk there. They're there to help. But when you become a student, you're going to get access to a ton of different student resources, mylambton.ca, D2L. You're going to get access to Web Advisor, all these different things. If you can't access them or you're missing information or you aren't able to log into your student profile, you're going to go to the IT service desk. You can email them, you can call them, and they're going to be able to help you with all of that. They do help with some hardware related type tools. Well, unrelated, but what is your favorite department in the school and why is it IT? Great question, Eric. Why is it IT? Mostly because people like Eric Brown work there. I mean, why would it not be my favorite when we have like the friendliest group of people in the IT department who are always willing to help you with whatever it is you need help for? That's why it's my favorite. Also, loaded question, because perhaps I wouldn't have said it's my favorite if you didn't tell me to. All right, so actually, we're gonna backtrack a little bit. I got all distracted talking about IT. Just kidding too, I actually would say one of my favorite departments is IT because those guys are awesome. Like I said, it's because of people like Eric, it's because of people like Jim, it's because of people like Lori. They're amazing. And that's why it's one of my favorites, for real. All right. So we're gonna go to the counseling center and show you where that is here. So this is the counseling department. They're there for personal counseling, academic counseling. We have a nurse on duty 5 days a week, a doctor here once a week. You can make health appointments, both mental and physical health here, as well as get all your academic counseling needs taken care of inside this room. You can email them at counseling@lambtoncollege.ca. You can call them at extension 3412. They are there to help. Super friendly people, amazing group of counselors and staff in there ready to help you with whatever it might be, whether, like I said, it's mental health related, physical health related, academic related. Maybe you want to switch programs, you're partway through and you want to switch directions completely. These are the people that will be able to meet with you and walk you through that process and help you make the best decisions that you can to be as successful as you can and meet your goals at the same time. So counseling, really important resource to know. Access to that before you're a student from the academic side, access to that when you are a student from the health side. Lots of support, super friendly people. Counseling is also one of my favorite departments. This is one of those things where I'm just going to say like every department is one of my favorites. All right, can we get in here? We cannot. Okay. So we are coming up to the last stop of the tour here. This is our library, resource center. Looks a little bit weird right now. I know that. That's because a large portion of what we do in our library is currently being utilized by current students. Normally, these desks that you see here are filled with computers, are filled with laptops, and students can come in here and hop in the library to do all sorts of different computer work, have access to a reliable, safe computer space for tons of hours throughout the day. Normally, they're open pretty late into the evening. But with the pandemic, what we've done is we've given a lot of those resources out to our students, out to our staff, out to our faculty, so that you have the means to access your current schoolwork in a safe and reliable manner. But that's the kind of stuff that you'd hop in here for, is access to computers, access to resources. As a student, you do get a print account. You get $10 per semester. I think that gets re-added every semester, every year. Have to double check, but there is a print allotment included in your student fees. There is normally, of course, printers and that kind of stuff set up there. You're also going to see a lot of resource books in the back. Those you can check out if you want to read further into certain subject areas like metallurgy or anatomy, something like that. And then at the front desk, this is where you can rent textbooks, where you can rent AV equipment or computer equipment. If you need a laptop to take home for the night, let them know at the front desk. They can hook you up with that. If you need an iPad, they can hook you up with that too. If you need a textbook, they also rent out textbooks. You cannot take the textbook out of the library. So if you're going to use that as your main source for your textbook, you want to make sure that A, they have it, and B, you're not going to need it in class because you cannot take that rented textbook out. But maybe you need a textbook just to do one assignment. You can rent that from them. Or maybe you forgot yours at home and you want to use it after class or something. Let the front desk know. They can get you set up with that. Then you just return it when you're done. We also have free tutoring. We're one of the last colleges in the province to offer free tutoring to our students. You can see the desk kind of just right behind me over there, the blue sign. That's the tutoring desk. If you want to take advantage of tutoring, you can certainly do so. It's totally free, all sorts of different subject areas. It's usually upper year students, second and third year students that are helping and tutoring our lower year students. Or if you're doing really well in your program and you want to become a tutor, you can do that too. They're usually paid positions. Once again, looks really good on your resume. Great way to add extra pieces to your co-curricular record if you choose to do it that way. But if you want to become a tutor, let the desk know, and they can certainly hire you to do just that. All right, so this is the end of the tour. Thank you so much for everybody that's here. Thanks for hanging out, listen to me talk, listen to my voice crack, listen to me wheeze as I move up and down the stair sets. But I hope that you got to see a little bit of what Lambton is, a little bit of what we offer our students. And if you notice, there was a common theme as we move throughout all of our different buildings, all of our different lab spaces, and that is student care and professional experience. When it comes to hands-on experience, you're in the right place. You saw our 42-bed simulation hospital. You saw our robotics lab. You saw our distillation tower. You saw our apartments. You saw even the esports lab and the esports varsity computer space. These are all things that are going to become a major advantage for you when you're studying, and it's going to become even more relevant when you start applying for your positions afterwards, because you're going to have a lot of experience, hands-on experience under your belt. You're also going to find it a fun time while you're here. I certainly did. I'm a graduate from Lambton, one of the best choices I ever made. Started off at a much bigger college, transferred to Lambton, and couldn't speak higher about it, but I'm biased, so I shouldn't be saying too much. Clearly I'm biased. I work for them now, but genuinely from the bottom of my heart, that was my experience, and I hope that you can have the same one. Applying. Apply. Why not? Like I mentioned in the basement, you can apply for free. It's not going to hurt. We'll cover the $95 fee for you. It's normally $100 to apply on ontariocolleges.ca. We will pay that fee for you. Like I said too, we don't know what's happening next week, so it's hard to imagine what life's going to be like in September, but let us do you the honor of getting you a free application and potentially getting you an offer for one of the programs that you're interested in. Open that door. That's the first step. Applying is a completely non-committal process. In this case, it doesn't even cost anything except for maybe a transcript request fee, which is like $5 to $15. But since you can apply for free, take advantage of that. Let us get you that offer potentially, and just open that door. That's going to allow us the chance to be able to say, hey, you have an acceptance to the Protection Security Investigation Program. You have an acceptance to the Practical Nursing Program. Congratulations. Now the choice is yours if you choose to confirm that. I certainly hope that you do. You're going to see that once you do confirm it, Lambton is a fantastic place when it comes to getting help, when it comes to making the student experience as easy and fun as possible, all at the same time as getting you the best education that we possibly can. And hopefully you can have that same experience just as I did. So apply for free, ontariocolleges.ca. You can do that through a few different ways. You can open up a live chat on our website, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday, Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., Saturday, 11 to 2 p.m. Open up that website, start a live chat with us. We will help you apply through live chat. We will also give you a voucher code. If you apply to Lambton and you are considering attending here, we will give you a voucher code that will eliminate the $95 fee on your ontariocolleges.ca application. That's one way, live chat. You can also attend free application day. We have a whole day coming up just for this. It's on January 20th. You can find that on our website, lambtoncollege.ca. Scroll down, go to events, check out the live application day, the free application day. It's coming up January 20th. That's another way. You can also email info@lambtoncollege.ca. Another way to get a free app, or you can text 1-844-LAMPTON. These are all the different ways you can get a hold of us. We will offer free applications through every single one of those manners. We just have to get some information from you. We can also help you with your entire process. So please take advantage of that. We want to help you apply. We want to get you those offers. We want to do everything we can to make your future student experience as fun, as easy as possible. That's exactly what we're here for. So please, let us help you with all of that. Great. Well, that's the end. Thank you. Oh, MOP. Can we see your best dance move? No, there is absolutely no way. Oh man, now I feel pressured. Now I'm gonna start turning red. Why would you ask that? But okay. There we are. Hopefully that met your need there. Best dance move. That's the best one I got currently, because if I did any more, I would be extra winded, even more so than I am now. And I would turn even more red, and nobody wants to see that. Nobody. Cool. Well, thanks so much for hanging out. Once again, my name is Brady. I'm an enrollment advisor. Hopefully you're able to get your questions answered. Hopefully you had a good time as we walked about the campus here. And maybe we'll see you at a future tour. Stay tuned for that every other Tuesday, just like today. We're going to be running these. If you want to come back, please do so. It's always a good time. You're going to find out more about future events and free applications, all that kind of fun stuff. And thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. If you have any questions, like I said, you can always reach us at those means that I put earlier, info@lambtoncollege.ca, 1-844-LAMPTON. Open up live chat. We are here to help, and we want to give you the best help that we can. All right, guys, I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much. I'm smiling underneath my mask. I have been the whole time. Hopefully you can tell through my eyes. Maybe you can't, maybe you can't. Anyways, I had a good time. Hopefully you did too. I hope that we can talk in the future, and have a good day. All right. Bye, everybody.